the Boston Red Sox, Ray, who have had a lot of negative press over the last 6 weeks or so. Trying to smooth it over just a bit. They've broken open the bank, and Rafael Devers gets an 11-year, $331 million extension to stay with the Red Sox. He has been good, Ray. Has he been a superstar? Nah. But if you hit free agency or the time is right, I guess nowadays you get contracts like this. And he's a lot younger than some of these other guys who've gotten the 10 or 11 years. So on that front, what is he? 26, 27 years old, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So quite younger than those other guys.
He had one superstar season in 2019. Then, 2020 was COVID. And then the last 2 years, he's been really good. He is one of the more consistent offensive producers, I think, in the American League. Is he a superstar or is he really, really good? I guess we'll see. He's still only 26. Like there could be some more there, right? There could be. But I think it comes down to kind of the rate you got to pay, right? We talked about this a lot with the Carlos Correa deal. This is kind of just where we're at in baseball nowadays. And, when the Red Sox have been taking hits, everyone else is improving, signing big, and the Red Sox aren't doing anything, right? They're doing these little ticky-tack things. I think the biggest thing, obviously, is they lost Xander Bogaerts, right, to the Padres. So they like you said, they couldn't afford to have the Devers situation go bad. They couldn't afford it. The fan base was already getting antsy about Fenway, right? So they did what they had to do. I think that he's one of the most stable options in the game, fantasy game or otherwise. Is he a superstar? He's getting paid like it, but I'm not sure.
Well, I think about all these contracts, Ray, of 10 years and beyond. And what have we had? Turner, Bogaerts, Judge, Correa, maybe, depending on how that works out. Maybe there's a couple of others that I'm forgetting. But like you said, good player. But, man, this kind of commitment to a guy who I look at it, Ray, and I say, I don't know how the aging is going to be with him. And I guess that's a question with everybody. But, like, his physique, his body doesn't scream, oh, yeah, gracefully aging. To me, it screams more Pablo Sandoval, like becoming that guy. Not that heavy, obviously, right. But, and that doesn't mean you can't be a star. Okay, I don't want people to think, oh, you can't. Kyle doesn't think he can be any good if you weigh over 250 pounds. You can. Defensively, Ray, he's not a butcher. I think most people thought he'd be a butcher. He's okay. But he's not staying at third base. Eventually, he's your first baseman or DH. Mm-hmm. I think it's really PR here. He probably gets this money from somebody else if he goes into free agency. But to me, it's confusing to me that the Red Sox would make this deal with him, but in effect, come nowhere close to signing Bogaerts.
Didn't they offer Bogaerts like half this?
Yeah,
that they gave Devers. Like,
and then Ray, just 2 years ago, trade Mookie Betts. That one screen of all those three guys, Ray, and I know Betts is older. Why wouldn't you have made the deal with him? And maybe, hindsight is 2020. I don't know, but I just would have rather invested in either Betts or Bogaerts before this move on Devers. And I just think it's one of those things where all the negativity and, sorry, people aren't buying season tickets to come watch James Paxton, throw 42 innings this year. So they wanted to, because that contract rate would have, or, the free agency, the looming free agency for Devers would have hung over the whole organization all year. And it would have been pretty negative. So on that aspect, they calm the rough waters in Boston right now.
Yeah, they got Trevor Story, Kyle, so it can all be better soon.
And that, like why, or the signing Yoshida, that doesn't make any sense either. It's Justin Turner. Come on.
I mean, is he older? Yes, but Xander Bogaerts, they apparently offered him 6 years, 160. They doubled the offer they gave to Rafael. Double. Is he twice the player? No, of course he isn't. Xander Bogaerts, homegrown talent, all-star player. I don't know. Again, like you said, it's what the cost is. Yeah. It's what they had to do PR-wise. If he stays healthy, he'll be fine, right? But, they had a big guy there, David Ortiz, right? Okay, it can totally happen. Fenway helps, hit the ball off the monster, all that kind of stuff. But there have to be questions about him. And, again, paying that much money to a first baseman DH is different than a guy playing the hot corner. You're right.
Devers, third round in fantasy leagues. He doesn't steal. Mm-hmm. The team around him is so at best. I mean, last year, as good as he was, 88 ribbies, 84 runs scored. I don't even know. His average is good. The OBP is pretty solid. Slugging is over 5. Maybe fourth round, I guess. Where do you see Devers in a fantasy game?
We always go to the NFC, the NFBC, their
Yeah.
ADP information, and it's early, but they've done 190 drafts to date that are available on their ADP chart. Rafael Devers ADP is 21.
So late second. Yeah, it's a little early for me. Yeah.
So, and again, it all comes down. This is the question we'll deal with more in depth as we get closer to the start of the season in 2023. How do you spend the early round picks? Because there are a few power speed guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are not many. Do you elevate those guys if they're 250 hitters? Well, Devers is a 295 hitter. Yeah, but he's going to steal 4 bases. Do I take a guy, Bobby Witt, who might hit 240, but it's going to steal 32 bases? So we'll have that debate. I think that Devers is very similar to Freddie Freeman in that I think their reliability grade is like an A. Like you're going to get it. Are you going to get a superstar? Are you going to get stolen bases? But there's something to be said for taking that stability at the top. But that's a pretty high price to pay with Rafael Devers.